10 News begins with breaking news.
Downpours like we haven't seen in years. Flash flooding, people trapped in their cars, homes evacuated. This is a live look at Midtown right now. And the rain that we saw tonight is nothing like the intensity that 10 News Pinpoint Futurecast is tracking for tomorrow morning. This storm is a doozy, but 10 News has you covered to keep you and your family safe.
And we have live team coverage of the worst hit areas. Let's begin with Emily Valdez in Midtown, where people are actually trapped in their homes tonight. Emily.
Yeah, I want to show you what we have behind me. You can see that we have this car that is literally floating out here in the middle of this cul-de-sac. And if you look behind the car, you can see we have condos and apartment buildings. And I know some of these are, have dozens of units in them. So there are people inside there, and there are people who are unable to get home. There's also people I want to show you who are unable to get in. So this is where the water's coming from, up at the top of the hill, and it's flowing down. And I also want to show you this over here. This is an garage where people have been parking their cars, and if you can look in, you can see that we have some flooding in there as well. This is the same area that flooded in December, so this is nothing that's absolutely new to them. However, they're saying it's the same problem. It is these flooded storm drains that are causing the several feet worth of flooding, and they also fear that if we have more rains overnight, you could see some people standing up over there in front of their homes. They're worried if we have some more rains overnight that this rain is going to go in and flood their condos. So all they can really do is keep their fingers crossed and hope that the water does not get any higher. I'm live in Midtown. Emily Valdez, 10 News.
And right now, this here, a live picture of downtown San Diego, and 10 News Pinpoint weathercaster Pat Brown has been tracking the storm's every move, and we haven't seen the worst of it yet.
No, we haven't, Kim. What we've really seen so far are really bands of rain moving across the county. You can see them there. I've been tracking some pretty intense cells inside those bands, like right now, this one right off the coast of Oceanside. This is moving up to the northeast. So Oceanside, you're going to get slammed with that in probably the next half hour or so. Now, as far as the future, what's to come is this second wave, which will bring more widespread rain. It'll be more widespread in nature. It'll cover more of the county at once. 10 News Futurecast pinpoints a very wet commute. Look at that starting at 5 a.m. Coming up, the surprising length of time that this intensity keeps up.
Huge downpour that trapped people in their cars. Take a look at some of this right here. You can see the cars that are floating down the street, rushing water, looking more like these cars had found their way to the ocean. This scene played out all over our beach communities as well. Water up to the windows on many of those cars. Kind of tough to see, but you can see the water line right there at the door. And this is what the streets look like in Point Loma. Flooded as far as the eye can see. The camera lens just covered there. Of course, 10 News is on top of every angle with this storm. Coming up here in about 7 minutes, we're going to be live from an area where homes were destroyed in a landslide caused by heavy rain just a decade ago. We're going to speak to an expert about that heavy rain and the forecast and how it could damage some of the areas.